Today, we're diving into one of the most incredible transformations in human development. We're talking about the Great Rewiring. What happens inside a child's brain that turns them from a toddler who runs on pure intuition into a little kid who's actually starting to think logically?
I mean, have you ever really looked at a 5-year-old and then a 7-year-old and just been blown away by the difference? It's like 1 minute they're one way, and then seemingly overnight, something just clicks. So, what is actually going on in there during those two critical years?
Because what we're talking about here isn't just about learning new words or how to count higher. That's kind of like a software update. No, this is a fundamental hardware upgrade to the brain's entire operating system. It's a biological rewiring that literally changes how they see and interact with the world. To really understand this upgrade, we've got to go back a step. We have to look at the foundation it's all built on. So let's rewind a few years to the world of a 2 to 4-year-old, right when the magic of symbolic thinking first starts to sparkle. This right here is the first great leap, symbolic reasoning. It's this incredible, brand new ability to hold an idea or an image in your mind, even when the real thing isn't there. You don't need to be petting the dog to think about the dog. You can just conjure up a mental picture of him. That's a huge deal. And you see this leap happening all over the place in their everyday play, right? A simple wooden block suddenly becomes a phone. A little crayon scribble is the family pet. And, probably the most important of all, words, these abstract little sounds, start to stand in for real, tangible things. This is the birth of imagination as we know it. Okay, but here's the catch. This early thinking is amazing, but it's not logical. Not yet. A child at this stage tends to get laser focused on just one thing at a time. It's why if you pour water from a short, wide glass into a tall, thin one, they'll swear there's now more water. Why? Because they can only focus on the height. They can't process height and width at the same time. And that very limitation is what sets the stage for the main event, the brain's big shift. This is that critical window where that one-track mind gets a massive, massive upgrade. So it's really important to see where this fits in. You've got the super fast growth of infancy, then you have the symbolic thinking of the play years, and then bam, you hit this incredible period of integration. This is the bridge that connects that early intuitive thinking to the more structured logical thinking of later childhood. And just to be clear, this isn't some abstract psychological theory. It's a biological event. The research calls it a period of significant brain maturation. The brain is physically changing. It's laying down new pathways that make a whole new kind of thought possible. So how does this happen? I mean, what is actually being built inside the brain during this time? Let's take a look under the hood at the neuroscience behind these new brain bridges. Okay, so the key players here are the brain's new cross-model zones. The easiest way to think of these is like new, highly efficient information hubs. They're connecting different kinds of data, what you see, what you smell, what you remember, and linking it all together into a coherent whole. This whole process causes memory itself to evolve. It goes from being a simple direct reaction, like pulling your hand away from a hot stove, to something much more complex called ideational remembrance. That's the brand new ability to recall a complex, multi-layered idea about something, not just a single feeling or sensation. Let's make this really concrete. I want to use a simple but powerful example that shows these new brain bridges in action. Let's call it the orange test. Before the big shift, a child might focus on just one thing about an orange. It's round, or maybe it's the color orange. But after the shift, thanks to those new cross-model zones, the brain can integrate everything at once. It can process the color, the citrusy smell, the sweet taste, even the letters that spell the word, and it bundles all of that information together into one single, rich, unified concept, orange. So what does this new super integrated brain actually let a child do? What's the real-world outcome of this great rewiring? Well, it's nothing less than the dawn of logic. And this brings us right back to our water glass test. On the left, you've got the pre-shift thinker. Totally intuitive, not quite logical, and stuck on just one attribute at a time. But on the right, you have a new kind of thinker. Their thought is becoming systematic. It's reversible. They get that the water can be poured back and be the same. And crucially, they can now consider both height and width at the very same time. This new integrated way of storing, recovering, and using data isn't just a neat little trick. It is the absolute foundation upon which all future learning, from elementary school math all the way to complex physics, is going to be built.
So what can parents and educators do? Well, you can't rush the biology, but the quality of the raw materials definitely matters. We can support this amazing shift by encouraging discovery, providing all sorts of rich, hands-on experiences with things they can actually touch and move around, and gently challenging their abilities to help them grow. And that leaves us with a final, really crucial question. This great rewiring is a gift of nature. It's a biological process that unfolds on its own time. But the strength of those connections, the richness of the ideas being integrated, well, that depends on the world we build around our kids. So the real question for all of us is, how are we helping to build the best, strongest bridges in the young minds around us?